Just got done meeting with Ruby. We got done with all of our financials, and they got me thinking. I want to teach you guys the 3 things that we do to maximize our cash flow. But first, we're gonna go to 3 job sites, and then after that, we'll get right into it. All right, guys. So right now, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna head to a job site where demo will start here in a few weeks, or we might start it early spring. Anyway, we're gonna go spray paint and the outline with the homeowner. Also, another thing, we are gonna confirm materials. That's another thing we typically like to do is on job sites like this, we like to send actual samples to the homeowner before we order anything. So we're gonna confirm samples, confirm layout, and then we'll be on our way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, unless they have any more questions about the deck for.
Alright guys, so we made it here. Like I said, we're gonna sign off on the samples. On this one we do have, I think there's 2 or 3 different color samples that we dropped off just to make sure they pick the one that they like. You guys have to remember, in the book or a picture, colors can be deceiving, so we want to make sure that they get what they want, they like. So we're gonna have them pick out the color they like, and then also we're gonna spray paint the layout just to make sure we're all on the same page. Maybe there needs to be some adjustments. This is the time. Typically, once we spray paint, confirm materials, I would say a couple of weeks, few weeks after is when we break ground. But other than that, let's get to the backyard and go ahead and talk to them.
Being at home, over.
And of course, this tree just brings. We might have to get rid of this. When you do this work, I might just say enough is enough.
Because honestly, at some point it will. Those look good. Like it just tell me, man. And that way, all this space.
Okay.
We'll do like something that grows up behind like a trellis or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Alex, what about this though?
All of this would be pavers.
Okay.
Pavers here.
And it's not. Those are good shape. I don't know if it's squirrels got in or what. That is the only thing I told you.
We just got done with the first meeting to walk through. It went great. They picked out their material. We spray painted everything. There was actually no changes. So we are headed to our second appointment for the day, which is a job site that our team completed, I'm going to say a week or 2 ago. But I haven't been able to go check it out. So we're going to go check out that job site, look at some minor details, and then maybe we'll show you guys around. But other than that, we'll see you guys when we get there. All right, guys. So just pulled up to another job site in Naperville. This has been wrapped up maybe 2 weeks ago, but we're gonna do a final walkthrough with the homeowner. A few things she has questions about. I think some of the electrical, and yeah. So we'll show you guys around. Let's go check it out.
But you still get room.
Yeah. Well, and what we've been doing, we've already been using fire pit.
Mira, lo que tenemos que hacer aquí es estas luces te tienen que conectar al switch, a este de la izquierda, a este al de la izquierda, porque este es el que tiene el switch para que se apague y se prenda. Entonces va a tener que correr de allí para acá. No sé si va a ocupar una extensión o no sé si alcance pero se tiene que correr así para allá y conectar allí. Y luego la otra cosa es hacerle un hoyo a esta madre aquí. Nomás quería ver para explicarle bien a ella, pero ya agarré la onda aquí. Eso, ya lo conecté con el charger y ya mire que el switch, Simón, you're good. Ok, Beto, ahora te hablamos. It's gonna work out for her, see?
Yeah.
Okay, Beto.
Otherwise,
Thank you.
this is was pulling down. I
Yeah,
wanted
so I
to
have to do
snap it. So yeah, to
You actually got a 5-star review from this walkthrough. We have 2 little minor things that we have to come back to. We have to plug in some lights, something with a window well, but it'll take our guys maybe an hour to finish that up. So we're all set here. All right, guys. So let's talk about cash flow management. How can we make the most out of our cash flow? And I'm going to tell you guys how we do it. There's not a wrong or right way to do it. This is personally how we do it here with landscaping experts, and I'm sure it can help you guys out. Anytime I talk to a contractor, most of the time the problem that they have is cash flow. Obviously, leads is probably the first thing, but once they figure that out, cash flow is one of the things that they always struggle with. In construction, I'm gonna say it's normal, right? So we got to try to figure out how can we stretch the money the same amount of money, how can we stretch it a little bit further? And the very first thing is make sure to use credit cards, right? And before I continue on that, I will say is be responsible with your money. Because you are going to see more money in your bank account with these 3 tips I'm about to give you. Make sure that you don't just start spending more money in random things, or even growth within your company. Make sure that with the leftover money you have. The way that's going to happen is you're stretching your money just with those credit cards 30 days. So let's say you get an invoice. Instead of paying it right from your bank account, you pay with a credit card. Now that gives you 30 days until you get that statement. We're not building up any interest or anything like that. So that gives you 30 days in order to pay that bill. And in those 30 days, you're going to get more deposits, you're going to get paid. So there's going to be money build up there. Number 2 is going to be 30-day accounts with your suppliers. And what does that mean? So it is a credit line with your suppliers. Look at what suppliers you use. And like for us, pavers is one of the things that we spent, a lot of money on. So what we did is we went to our paver supplier and said, hey, we need a credit line with you guys. So let's say we make an order today. Order comes in today or whenever they can deliver it. You don't have to pay them back for another 30 days. Now guess what? Now that gives you time to wrap up, help wrap up the job. Let's say those $10,000 out of pocket for the material. Now you get to hold those $10,000. They float that for you at no cost. Now, like I said, you want to make sure that you're not just spending this extra money that you have in the account. That's just more to give you flexibility, be able to stretch your money a little more. That way you can sleep at night a little better, knowing that you have more of a cushion with your cash flow. Also, another thing is combining that 30-day account with your credit card. So let's say you get that bill for 30 days, right? Now take that bill and pay with your credit card. So now that gives you 60 days. So now we're stretching the same amount of money we're stretching in 60 days. That's going to give you pretty damn good cushion. If you know how to manage your money, now if you're collecting deposits how you're supposed to, you set up proper milestones, that's a whole nother topic. You should be seeing more money in your bank account. The last one I always use for last resort. And this is when you're dealing more with commercial accounts or when you're really pushing for heavy growth within your company, when you're taking all the other money that's freeing up and pushing it towards growth, new equipment. Sometimes you have some commercial accounts where they're going to be, 30-day net, 60-day net, some are even 90. So a credit line is pretty much, so the way I would simplify it to our guys in MDC is I think about a credit line the way, let's say like you have a friend that has $100,000 and he lets you borrow it anytime you want, and you replenish that money whenever you can, and you pay interest for the days you borrow it. Simple as that. So let's say that the bank gives you $100,000 in a credit line. It's a separate bank account where those $100,000 are available at all times. Remember, you want to be careful when you're pulling from this money because obviously no matter what, you do have to pay it back. So let's say this week things got tight after leveraging vendors, leveraging your credit cards. 10 days from now, you're going to get a big check that's going to cover all of your expenses plus some profit, but your main operating account is running low. Typically, what most business owners, what we do is take money from our personal, let the business borrow it, and then we replenish, or sometimes we don't even replenish ourselves. So what you do is you simply go into that credit line. Let's say you need $50,000. You take $50,000, put it into your operating account, and you can disperse that money however you like. And then in 10 days or 5 days, let's say that check comes in early, 5 days, they pay you back. All you do is replenish that account, and then you only pay interest based on however many days you used it for. So for a fourth one, I'm gonna actually add a bonus here, and we're gonna add a fourth one. Number 4 is, remember, now we've figured out how to leverage the cash flow that's coming in. How do we make sure that cash flow is coming in the way it's supposed to be at the times that it's supposed to be? That's gonna come back to you making sure that you have proper milestones set up in these estimates or within these contracts, then these jobs that you have. For us, like I said, there's no wrong or right way. You have to do what works best for your business. And by then, You know, contractor and homeowners very well invested into the project, and I think it's very fair to ask for a 50%. Now, depending on the job size, but let's say it's a $100,000 job, right? I'm gonna say that by the time we have all of our flat work done, we ask for another 30%, and then the remainder, then we'll leave for final walkthrough. And then again, it really depends on the size of the job, right? If it's a $200,000 job, $300,000 job, you don't want to leave 20% for the end. Now, another thing is change orders. Change orders for us, they typically, in my opinion, like I said, I've been in the game 19 years. I personally don't suggest leaving them and letting them build up to the end. I've been burnt too many times, and I'm sure a lot of you watching right now have been burnt that way as well, because if it adds up, there's gonna be issues at the end, almost guaranteed. So what we do is, and there's a lot of companies that do this as well. If there's a change order in the middle of the project, you wanna sign a new contract. Remember, you want to have paperwork, trail paperwork. Sign a contract, and then change orders are due immediately. If you have a change order, it's gonna have to, as soon as you sign a contract, it has to be paid for right then and there for our guys to proceed with the change order. That way you don't have all these change orders adding up, because now if you let out, for so many reasons, even cash flow purposes, let's say you have a job that they're gonna owe you 20%, and it's gonna be, you know, $10,000, but you have another $15,000 of change orders. Well, you don't have 20% now. It's more than 20% that you're leaving to the end. So in order for you to fix that, and for us to continue to stay with the original milestones that we agreed upon while signing, we need to collect right then and there. And I promise you, it's gonna save a lot of headaches. What's up, bro? How are you? How's school? Good. Come here, give me a hug. Baby man. You show me your yo-yo. Alright guys, so I hope those tips help you, and if they did, please let me know in the comments which one of the three is going to help you the most. But other than that, let's head to a job site.
Unos de estos árboles están bien feos. Están bien pinches feos, como que niños los apoda patadas. Quitarle y agarrarle poquilla de aquí.
Y pues va a tener que ir una especie de volada eso.
Una extensión para el heater.
No. El giro está bien. Las luces. Mañana el otro salán. Y salán maybe.
No, allá no era para donde va.
¿Eso no se ocupará echarle tierra?
Y los demás. Es que no tiene nada de. Aquí no salió nada de tierra. Aquí se sacó así como. Salió el pinche ese. Mira, el boquete. Son 5, son 6.
Porque allá donde.
Es uñas, no sé qué verga mucho. Está bien chido. Está bien feo. Eso es lo que le estamos haciendo ya después para que
Allá en arriba una pinche piedra está verano.
Como los lagartijos.
Alright guys, it's about 4 o'clock right now. We just wrapped up that last job site. Made sure that our guys were good there. I think we're installing about 150 plants there. So we're gonna work for another maybe an hour or two max. But we're gonna wrap up the day here in the office. You know, respond to some emails. Just, you know, finish up the day here on the computer. But if you made it to this point, really appreciate you. Also, if you made it to this point, remember these vlogs are for you guys. So anything else you guys want to watch more in detail, or just let me know. But drop it in the comments. Tell me what you guys want to see more of. So other than that, hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and we'll see you guys in the next one.